Alright, we're just going to dive right into this. So, it is the first weekend in April. I have had the kayak out a handful of times, just a handful, since I got it. And went out on the river a couple times chasing walleyes, no luck. Fished from shore a couple of times chasing walleyes, no luck. So this weekend, finally got on some crappies. However, this weekend was destined from disaster from the beginning. I'm talking 12:01 a.m. Saturday. Destined for disaster while I was sleeping. So this video that you're going to be watching, we'll start off saying that it is going to be most likely muted and voiced over, because otherwise this is what you will be hearing right here. I really don't think that you want to listen to that for 5-8 minutes, however long it ends up being. So, and we are off. Pulling down to the ramp. Now that the ramp is clear. That poor camera pole. My fabricable camera pole is not working out too great. I have to figure something else out, but it works for now. So, get the crate out of there. Ugh. Get the kayak cart out, and there we go. Get her shoved down into the water. I suppose I could have, started off a little further into the water before I pulled the cart out, so I wasn't on the concrete as much, but... And we are off. As you can see here, it's not too bad right now. I mean, a little rough. I was out here in the same place the day before, and it was a lot worse. Out in the main lake area. It's, I believe we're in about 10 feet of water or so right now, maybe 11. But not too bad. A little rough, not too bad. Surfing a wave right there a little bit there. Yeehaw. Now we're getting into the channel that I'm going to be going into to fish. Starting to narrow down. So you know how that works with wind, it narrows up like that and creates a wind tunnel. And anchors away. What I had to do to get anchored down was, I'm in about 7 feet of water, and I had to run out about 10 feet of line, get it all set up, and then just drop the anchor and let it pull up against the anchor from the wind. And we are locked in place. Kind of. Oh, here we go. First fish of the day. What I'm using here is a crappie minnow on a small fire tiger colored jig. Little guy. They don't get much bigger than that here at this lake. They're pretty stunted. But there's numbers. And fish number 2 on. Another little one. So, crappie minnow on a little fire tiger jig underneath the slip bobber. About 15 inches or so deep. And now, as you can see, the wind has picked up and it has blown me free from my anchor. And I am now on top of the tree that I was fishing. You can see the tree down there in the water. It's not too far below the surface of the water, so I had to stow the drive unit away. Now I'm trying to get the anchor up, and of course, anchor's stuck in the tree. So, no need to panic. Just keep working it. Managed to catch a little small break in the wind a little bit. Got myself pulled backwards a little further out of the tree. Worked it a little bit and got her free. Thankfully. Get the heck out of that tree. Yes, I know my paddle's upside down, but now that I have a pedal drive kayak, I don't really use the paddle that much, so just needed to use it enough to get me out of the tree there. Drive unit down and head for the dock. Head for the ramp and get the heck out of here. The old weather guessers were a little bit off on their prediction for the day. The forecast said it was supposed to be pretty much a steady 15-mile-an-hour winds, but this was way more than 15 miles an hour. Still on the channel here, working my way out. And as you can see, the waves are a lot worse than they were when I came in. Getting some spray. I bought a new PFD because the one I had before didn't work too great for kayaks. And I plan on doing at least one live tournament this year. One of the rules is that you have to have PFD on at all times. So picked up a new one that's a little bit more comfortable, works a little bit better in the kayak. So getting used to wearing it all the time now. So I've got that on. Waves are getting bigger. Getting some good spray going here. I'm getting drenched. All kinds of good spray. Not panicking though. I've been in some situations before in kayaks and canoes and stuff like that. I wasn't panicking at all or nothing. The kayak handled it all very well. Yeah, it was rough, but it tracked good through the waves. It tracked good with the wind. Sit on kayak, obviously you've got scupper holes, so self-bailing in it. I was getting some good amount of water coming in the kayak there. It was bailing out just fine. Going into that wind and into the waves right now, I'm putting a little bit of effort into the pedals, just trying to keep some good speed going, trying to not let that nose come down too much off the waves so I didn't submarine the front end of it real bad. But I'm still clipping along at, I think it was right about 3.5 miles an hour right now, going into the wind and into those waves at the pace that I'm pedaling. And from the time I left the spot where I was fishing till I got back to the boat launch, it was a good, I would say, a good 20 minutes of pedaling at that pace. And there was a certain couple of times where I actually picked up the pace pedaling, trying to skip across the waves a little bit more, but didn't seem to really make much of a difference. Wasn't really coming down off the waves too bad, so that poor drone up there in the nose. It wasn't too bad when I got out there, so I figured I'd take the drone with and get on some fish and get the drone up in the air and maybe get some cool shots while I was fishing with the drone. But the case is getting pretty wet, and it's not a waterproof case, but the drone and everything actually stayed dry. I checked everything, it still works. Everything's good on that, so that's a good thing. As you can see, my jeans are changing colors. The waves are getting a little bit bigger now. We're getting out into the main lake, where it right at the edge of the bowl of the main lake where it starts to get shallow. That's probably increasing the size of the waves. And I think the wind picked up a little bit more yet too, so even got some water on the camera lens now. Now we're getting to the point to where we got to start going at a little bit of an angle with the waves to start heading over to the boat launch, which is just off to the right of the center of frame right now. And man, I'm getting just drenched right now, but I was having fun with it. I wanted to see how the kayak reacted to everything, see how it was so that in the future I know what to expect out of it. Um, I wasn't worried about anything. Wasn't worried about getting tipped over or nothing like that. So I was just kind of having fun with it. I was already soaked, so what the heck. Have a little bit of fun. Getting some pretty good spray going over the top there. Getting wet now. Like I had said earlier, I was out here on this same lake the day before, and it was a lot worse. I went to the same spot and I caught a dozen or so crappies about the same size in a short period of time. But somehow my GoPro got put on picture mode instead of video mode, so when I went to turn it on to take video, I took one picture the entire day. So that was kind of a bummer. And I seen some of these waves coming up here, and thought I better turn into these a little bit here. So turned into them a little bit so I didn't get too much. Those look like they're pretty good sized waves. So now we're just about to the boat launch here, coming up on an island that's blocking the wind. So now we're out of the wind a little bit here, into some smoother water, and back at the boat launch, safe and sound. Just a little wet. I think the only thing that stayed dry was probably my hat. And now here's how I have my kayak cart set up to work. We've got two sections of paracord that go through a hole on the pipes that go up through the scupper holes. I feed them up through the holes with the cart laying on the ground behind it. Lift her up and pull on the ropes. And pull the cart up into the hole. And she's on the cart. And this poor camera pulling. Hopefully you guys didn't get too dizzy there. And back to the truck we go. No, I did not pee my pants. I don't think. Back to the Johnny G mobile. At this point here, I was glad to be off the water. But I did have fun with it though. It was a good time. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you got that bell icon highlighted on your subscription so that you'll get notified when I upload a video. In about a month, I'll be able to start going after bass again. Once I'm able to start going after bass again, then should be some more exciting content on a regular basis again coming up. So cannot wait for that first Saturday in May to get here. It can't come soon enough. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next episode of Johnny G Outdoors.